Juleson to the Panthers. Montreal also waived Corey Perry and Michael Perrault. Both signed one-year deals worth $750,000.
We don't have a choice. We could only protect a certain amount of players that's related to the cap and everything else. And afterwards, then you gotta, those other guys have to go on waivers.
In Edmonton, Jujhar Khaira and Joakim Nygard have both been made available. Both are in the final years of their current contracts. The Flames waived Oliver Shillington, who just signed a one-year $787,000 deal, and Derek Ryan, who's in the final year of $3.1 million deal.
They all understand the business of the game, you know, and there's the business side of the game and there's the game side of the game. We want to make sure that the players understand, you know, that it's related to the business side of things more than the game side of things.
The Canucks have waived Sven Baertschi, who asked for a trade last season, and Louis Eriksson, who still has 2 years on a $12 million contract over those 2 years at $6 million per. And the Jets like Matthew Perot, but waived him today, figuring his $4.1 million deal would be too rich for someone to try to pick up.
This is wholly and completely a cap compliance issue. There's always the chance that Matthew could get claimed on waivers. If he doesn't, nothing changes in terms of his ability to be in the lineup opening night.
Speaking of rich deals, Tyler Johnson is available in Tampa, but comes with a $5 million annual cap hit. Frank, when people hear a name like Corey Perry on the waiver wire, while it may catch people a little bit off guard initially, it really is just paper shuffling in a way to get under the salary cap for opening day.
It is, Gino. And look, these teams are trying to generate as much flexibility as they can for both cap reasons and to set themselves up properly for this season with their taxi squad. There's going to be integral parts of players on these taxi squads that are going to be used in big ways at varying points with both injury and illness throughout the season. And I believe that Corey Perry even signed in Montreal with his Hart Trophy resume, knowing that this might be a possibility. He's seen time on the power play in training camp. At this point, the Habs needed that flexibility and are putting Corey Perry on waivers, where with a contract like that could have that flexibility to go down in full on the taxi squad and come off of your cap. I wouldn't be shocked if a team would try to put in a claim for a guy like Corey Perry, even though he sat on the market for a period of time before signing with the Habs.
Jamie, what about Matthew Perot? He's got a lot of game left. Am I right to assume that he'd be drawing a lot of attention around the league right now, if not for his $4.1 million annual salary?
And also you can add in that if this was a normal season, it's not a normal season. This is a sprint. This is a business move. You heard Paul Maurice to say this is paper shuffling. But Matthew Perot has plenty of game left. I believe he can give very good third-line minutes. He's good on the penalty kill. Now, the biggest challenge for me when it comes to Matthew Perot is not only the $4 million salary, but it's been his health. He was banged up off and on last season, played under 50 games, and he's a guy, if he can stay healthy, certainly can add to your lineup, but that's the biggest challenge for him is staying healthy. But if this was a regular 82-game season, I think there would be a lot of interest in Matthew Perot. But right now with the sprint and a lot of players moving around, Frank just pointed out a guy like Corey Perry maybe on the move because of his salary and his capabilities. Perot, I think, is going to stay put in Winnipeg, and Paul Maurice will use him in a lot of different ways.